Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about how to flip cars. Okay, how to flip cars, how to get into flipping cars. When you do get into flipping cars, how can you profit from it? What are some of the methods that you could use to kind of basically make some money, make some extra cash? One of the first things that you got to understand is, a couple of things. One is you have to have the passion, right? If you're only trying to just make money and you don't really have this passion to kind of get into cars, fix cars, you're good at it, you have fun. For example, for me, it's almost like therapy, right? I'm in my garage and I'm just kind of like, I had a bad day. I can go into my garage and I start fixing one thing or another as far as the car that you're flipping. And it's almost like therapy. You're having fun, you put your headphones on, maybe listen to music. I usually, music is the sound of, holding that ratchet or impact gun and try to like open up a bolt or whatnot, right? So I really get into it. There's no distractions, and once I'm done and I come out, I'm in a better mood. That's me, right? So that's the type of motivation, or actually there's no motivation, right? You enjoy it so much, you love it, and that's the most important thing that you got to understand. You get into it, you're passionate about it, at the same time you're making money. That's how it needs to be. It cannot be about, oh, I'm gonna try to make some money, I don't really know how to flip cars, and I don't really enjoy fixing cars, but I want to make money. It's not gonna last, right? It's not gonna last that long, right? So that's the probably number one thing I wanted to kind of mention. Also, part two or second point on this is there's passion versus trying to make the profit. You have to be kind of cognizant and conscious about, hey, you know what? I have to make some money whilst trying to profit out of it, right? For example, I'll give you a couple of examples. Every time I went with my passion, I found a car that needed an engine. An engine's a lot of work, and when it's a lot of work, it's more fun for you, or do-it-yourselfers, or the one that kind of enjoy these type of things. Yeah, it's fun, and you really get into it. You change out the whole engine. Those are the cars that I made least amount of money for. All right. When I got into the mindset of, okay, I once I sell the car, my next car actually was, hey, I want to profit out of this, right? Those type of cars is what I kind of went to go find, and I kind of bargained heavy and got a good price for it. When I brought it home, there weren't that much to fix. For example, there's a BMW that I was like really looking to make profit out of. It's a BMW 2003 325i. Actually, I was passionate about buying the car for the, to enjoy it. But what ended up happening was, instead of a head gasket, it only needed a thermostat replacement. So I actually profited pretty good on that vehicle, where the mechanic told the guy I was buying from that he needed a head gasket. When I brought it home, it actually just needed a thermostat. So go into the mindset in a balanced way. Don't go buy a car just for the sake of having fun with it, right? You want to make sure you can profit out of it. The next thing you want to do is write everything down. Each part you're buying, you got to write it down. Even if it's a bottle of coolant, you have to write it down. That comes into play. Tools, the tools that you're going to need. You may not have a tool that, an extension or whatnot, maybe a grinder that you need to grind something. You gotta, accumulate or account for all these things, right? The next thing you want to do is stick to a price as far as budget goes. If your budget is maybe say $5,000, right? You want to buy a car $5,000, and you go start looking for a car, maybe it's $7,000, and you want to go buy one, right? Once you go buy one and you're trying to haggle to $5,000, don't give in. Stick to 5,500. If he says, stick to $5,000. If he says 6,000, 6,200, you want to walk away. Learn to walk away, because what's going to happen is if you give in, you're not going to have that wiggle room to kind of make that profit when you're selling a car. Now, also, same thing, conversely, once you're done fixing it and you're ready to sell it, have a price in mind. When the guy comes, especially the BMW that I mentioned, 325i, I was trying to sell it for, I think, 2,500. The guy was asking for 1,700. I said, no. I'm not gonna let that go because I already spent all this money, so on and so forth. And he walked away. Once he walked away, he called me the next day. He's like, fine, I'm gonna buy for the price that you gave me yesterday. So he ended up buying it. He came back the next day. So you gotta stick to the price. Don't give in to the buy once you're buying. Don't give in once you're trying to sell. The other piece you guys have to understand is auction versus private party. The private party, you have kind of a wiggle room. You guys can kind of haggle and try to get the guy to the right price, and you will be able to have, it's a hit or miss. Private party is hit or miss. Auction, which is autoauction.com, you guys can go to there. Even us regular buyers without a dealer license can go in there and purchase a vehicle. Yes, there's heavy fees, but you could kind of plan it out. For example, I had a 2013 Hyundai Sonata, which the only issue with that car was accident. It was starting, everything. It was accident, and it was key missing. And I knew that, so I kind of, bought it for having that in mind. I was able to get a door from junkyard, right? I was able to replace the door. There was just a door basically kind of dent in. There's an accident, so I was able to replace it, and I was able to kind of get extra key made, right? Extra key made by, you could just do Google search, lost key, and you will be able to kind of get a good price. I think I paid $150 for keys that were made for that vehicle. So the auction people, they just lost the keys, or maybe they never received the keys when it got, towed in. So anyway, you could kind of plan it out with the auction. The private party, it's hit or miss, and you have more control in terms of trying to haggle, but it's also more, you could fail more because the opposite party that you're buying from won't listen. It's really, it really comes down to one guy that I bought. Overall, I just want to quickly mention, overall, it's a skill to have. So you have to kind of be a good buyer and a good seller, and you want to make sure you plan accordingly. You have your notes. I have in my phone, I just use notes section to kind of add my items that I bought, parts that I bought, tools that I bought, the amount of how much did I buy the car for, how much did I buy the thermostat, or maybe the valve cover gasket, or maybe the keys that I talked to you guys about, whatever that is, right? You have to make sure you're good, you document all those things, and plan accordingly, and stick to your guts as well. I would say, again, you just got to have the skill, and that skill can be improved by doing more buying and selling, correct? So you could improve on that. My first couple flips, I didn't really make much, and I started researching and kind of starting getting better at buying those cars with good profit and then repairing them and then selling them. I improved, right? So with anything, like you play basketball, lots of basketball, you're gonna improve just like that. It's a skill set to have, and yes, you could get better at it. One of the guys that came to buy a vehicle, he said, sometimes you lose some, sometimes you gain some, and it just evens out. I'm not sure I'm making that much money. He was on the negative term. He was more being negative. It's possible where you increase and get better so much that you just make profit after profit on each vehicle. What's a good profit? Well, it's subjective, right? And it could be in the beginning $500 profit to, as you get better at it, $4,000 to $6,000, $7,000 profit. So it just really depends on you and the skill that you start having to get better at buying these cars and also selling these cars, right? So just don't lose hope in terms of improving. If you just got into it and you didn't really make too much on your first vehicle, your second will be better, your third will be even better, and it'll just improving from there. Again, just hit these key points that I mentioned. Make sure that you pay attention to your parts that you're buying and you document them. In the end, hopefully you get a good profit out of it. So that's pretty much it. I'll talk more later on. Maybe I'll create a part 2 video for this subject. Again, subscribe to my channel. I know you guys are watching, so it's not like, I'm just throwing videos out there and nobody watching. So hit the like button, leave a comment, and if you have any other suggestions or questions, we could talk about it in the comment section. Thanks, guys. Hope to see you again. Bye.